So this is my third fucking time recording. Like, this is really my third time recording this shit. So if it don't work this time, I'm over it. We're on chapter 8. And we're on Jerome's chapter. Look, Jerome is wrong. Alright, look. Now, it's not y'all fault, but this has been a really fucking tough week. Y'all don't understand. I tried to load chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8 for y'all. 6, 7, and 8. I already loaded chapter 5. But chapter 6, 7, and 8 is taking like forever. It's taking 3 days to damn upload. Let's see, like, did it upload yet? Let's see, hold on. Y'all, we in the afternoon. It's probably 4:19. Yeah, it's probably 4:19. So let's see. Nah, it didn't even load yet. It ain't even load yet for real. It's pissing me off. I gotta go in there because the Wi-Fi in there is terrible. Alright, let's get started. You're on wrong. Alright, cool. So I got on some shorts. Don't mind my little skinned up knee. Anyway, you ever hear the phone ring and you just get that feeling that you shouldn't answer it? Well, that's exactly how I felt when the old school ringtone signaling that somebody was calling me from a restricted or a private number. I almost never answered blocked calls because it was usually my crazy stalker Peter coming to harass me. The only reason I was reaching for my phone was because the off chance it was Big Papa calling from his house phone to apologize for the shit that he pulled recently. I had fully convinced him that we needed to start spending more time together outside of the house, hell, outside of my bedroom. I needed to prove that after all this time together, I was more than just to him. He never had agreed to go anywhere outside the gates of the community, and whether or not it meant ducking my crazy-ass stalker to do it, I needed to date Big Papa to prove that our relationship was deeper than just the physical. Big Papa agreed to go to the movies with me, but on one condition. He chose the theater way the hell out of Fredericksburg. Well, I was so happy to finally be going out somewhere with him that I didn't complain. Besides, it gave us opportunity to take a crazy long route to get there, so if Peter did happen to be following us, we could lose him along the way. We reached the theater pretty certain that Peter was not around. I guess even the stalkers take a day off once in a while. But Big Papa's plan to stay anonymous almost backfired on me. In a big way. Would you believe he spotted a couple of his wife's friends in the lobby? This got the nerve to be so ducked out on me. While I was standing in the line by the popcorn, he told me he was going to the men's room, that was the last that I saw of him. The really messed up part about it was, he was the one driving, and I ended up stranded. Do you have any idea how much it costs to take a cab from Fredericksburg to West End of Richmond? $81.50, that's how much. Okay, Julius. I knew this because that's how much it cost me to get home. So it doesn't matter which one it was, Big Papa or Peter, either one of them was going to get a piece of my mind. Who is this? I snapped. Jerome, I need your help, man. I recognized the voice right away. It wasn't Peter or Big Papa. It was Ron. He sounded so distressed. I guess I thought him up because he had been weighing on my mind heavily since I called him that by accident last week. Despite everything that had happened between us, I'd be fooling myself if I'd admit that I cared for the man and felt responsible for his well-being, especially since the way he was talking about dying and wanting to be dead seemed more like a cry for help, and I needed to be there for him. I owed him that much, since it was my fault that he got shoved out the closet. Alright, little recap. Jerome, no recaps. Y'all gotta go back, because I don't even want to ruin it for the people that didn't see it yet, so you gotta go back to the other chapters. But look. No recaps. Despite everything that happened between us, I'd be fooling myself if I said I didn't care for the man and felt responsible for his well-being, especially since the way he was talking about dying and wanting to be dead seemed like more of a cry for help than anything else. So if he really needed me, I was going to be there for him. I owed him that much, since it was my fault that he got shoved out the closet. Ron, what does that mean? Jerome, I'm in trouble. I need your help bad. He sounded like he was on the verge of tears. Just tell me where you are and what you need. I need you to bail me out. Bail you out of what? You're not gambling, are you? Ron liked to gamble. He's shown me a side of himself this few times when we got stuck off in Atlantic City. But I'll tell you now, if he wanted me to pay off his gambling debts, he was assed out. No, they arrested me. Arrested you? For what? Assault. I had to fight a guy. Can you just come down here and bail me out? You're the only one I can count on. They're gonna send me to the county if I don't get bailed out soon. Wow, I was blown away by what he said. I was the only one that he could count on. I felt honored and a little guilty at the same time. I was pretty sure that before my stalker outed him, he had no way I could turn him down now. Okay, I'm on my way. How much is your bail? $1,000, he said. My stomach tightened a little at the thought of putting out that much money. But this guy just told you that he needed a bail bondsman and it's gonna cost you only 15%. Don't worry, I'll take care of that. Where are they holding you? Danville City Jail. Alright, I'm on my way. I was relieved to hear that I was only gonna pay 15%. The truth was, I would have paid a whole $1,000 if need be. Guilt, fondness, love. I didn't know how to define what I was feeling. I definitely cared about Ron and I wanted to be there for him in his time of need. I just put on my coat and was about to head to the door when someone rang the doorbell. Without even looking through the peephole, I opened the door and to my surprise, saw Big Papa standing there with a bottle of wine in one hand and a bag of groceries in the other. He had to pick up now and apologize. Going somewhere, he asked? I have to go and help a friend. Well, I'll be back when you get back. He tried to step inside, but I blocked his way. No, you won't. I can't even believe you came here after the shit that you pulled. You didn't even call me and tell me you were leaving. I was pissed. Please, what did you expect me to do? Sit here and hold your hand? There's only 2 of my wife's friends and I was supposed to be up in Charlottesville seeing my people. What the hell do you think they would have think if they saw me sitting next to you sharing popcorn and a drink? Nothing, I said adamantly. We were watching Iron Man 2, not Brokeback Mountain. You could have introduced me as your cousin. That's the least you could have done, was circle back and pick my ass up. You know what, Jerome? You're right. I effed up. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm very, very sorry. Sorry ain't good enough this time. I reached for the door. Okay, how about this? Will this make it up to you? He held up a bottle, your favorite wine, and guess what? He showed me the bag of groceries, then winked at me. I got a little bit of the scallops that you like. He stepped closer to me. I'm going to saute them over a little bit of oil, garlic, and butter, and serve them over angel hair pasta. When we finished eating, he smirked. What do I have to say? You know what I do best. He started swerving his hips like an exotic dancer. Shit, I almost dropped my keys. You know I'd be lying if I said I didn't sound great. Big Papa was one hell of a cook. And who doesn't know that there's no sex better than makeup sex? Seriously, Jerome, I'm sorry. Can I make it up to you? I bit my lips and silently cursed. Why was it that I could never say this to a man? What the hell? An hour for dinner? 15 and 20 minutes for a quickly? And I could be up in Dansville for an hour. You got a lot of making up to do. I hope you're up to a challenge. He smiled broadly. Challenge is my middle name. I finally made it to jail in Danville, only 15 minutes before they shipped Ron over to county. I was thankful to have made it in one piece. Trust me, I pushed my poor Lexus to the limit to make the drive a little less than 2 hours. I normally didn't like to drive fast, but Big Papa had me leaving the place much later than I expected. He turned what I should have been a quick BJ and goodbye into a mini marathon. He must have sensed something was wrong, because he didn't leave my house until after some time, 4 in the morning. He rarely ever did that unless his wife was out of town. And believe me, I knew she was home. Call me obsessed, but I always knew when the wife was up. Neither Big Papa and his wife knew it, but I kept track of their Facebook pages like they were my own. The woman friended me and she didn't even realize who I was. It's amazing just how careless people are at giving up their personal information on social networking sites like Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. An hour before Big Papa showed up at my door, she updated her status to say that she was watching a Lifetime movie in her big comfy bed. Chick movies, no wonder Big Papa took the opportunity to get out of the house. Speaking of Big Papa, he was full of surprises tonight. As I was walking to the window to pay Ron's bail, I received an unexpected call. Why the hell Big Papa wasn't in bed snuggled up to his wife by now, I don't know. Most of the time after it took him a day or two to call me, or if I didn't call first. I should have hit the ignore button on my phone like I said before, but I just couldn't say no to the man. Hello, I said groggily, as if I'd been sleeping. Where the hell are you? No mistaking his attitude. The man was pissed about something. I scrolled toward the exit and continued the call outside because it felt like this conversation was about to get serious. I'm about to say what I was about to say in bed, but I had my own I was about to say I was in bed, but I had my own suspicions about this call. Had he doubled back to my house and found I wasn't there? Jesus, I hope not. Where are you? I tried to throw it back at him. Jerome, don't play games with me. I called your house phone 5 minutes and I know you're not there. Now where the hell are you? Shit, there was gonna be a problem. While I was flattered that he was showing interest in this way, why couldn't he have waited until I helped Ron straighten out his dilemma? I mean, I'd waited all this time for Big Papa to show that he cared. Another week wouldn't have hurt. I had to remain on the defensive. I stepped out for a minute. Is there a problem? What's up? Stepped out? At 6 o'clock in the morning? Where the fuck are you? With some... No, not exactly. I'm helping out a friend. I tried to act like it was no big deal, but it was huge. Big Papa and I had our share in arguments, but I never heard the anger that I was hearing in his voice. He knew I had sponsors and he never expressed jealousy before, but helping him out? How the hell are you helping him out? I knew you were acting funny all night, trying to rush me out of here all fast and shit. Look, if it's any of your business, I'm bailing out a friend who got arrested. Hey, you know what they say, nothing better than the truth. Except Big Papa didn't believe it. You fucking liar. What's wrong? All of a sudden I ain't got what you need? Don't go there, alright? You know how I feel about you. I'm not the one with the wife that goes running home every night. No, you're the one who risked both of our lives with about 15 different bed partners. Now I want your ass home before I get there, or you can expect my foot in your ass. Oh no, he didn't just threaten to hit me. Look, I love the guy, but who the hell did he think he was talking to? Now I was just as pissed off as he was. Excuse me, I know you're not talking to me, cause I want to know what damn army you plan on bringing to help you get your foot in my ass. I know you're starting to take that Big Papa shit a little too literally, wouldn't you say? He was silent, so I continued. As far as going home, you want me home and pack your bags and move in? I didn't answer to anyone unless they were in my bed every night, and that damn sure ain't you. What are you trying to say? Think about it. You'll figure it out. I hung up on him and turned off the phone as I proceeded to magistrate the windows. Magistrate? What? Window to pay Ron's bill. I sat down and waited for him to be processed and released. The magistrate and his processing would have took him about a half an hour, so I read an old newspaper someone had left in a bench. I hadn't gotten through half of it before. I looked up and saw Ron walking down the corridor toward me. Okay. The sight of him after all this time apart really stirred something inside of me. I remembered his phenomenal body, and I'd completely forgotten just how handsome he was. The closer he came, the more I wished I could reach out and grab him. How the hell did I ever let this man out of my life? He looked like some type of African god. A whole host of emotions rose up within me as he approached. So much he had been going on in my life lately, with the loss of my best friend and my job, Peter's continual harassment of me and my friends, and now Big Papa showing his ass. Seeing Ron... Oh, shit, I don't know what the fuck that was. I told you I'd be getting distracted, but I don't know. Seeing Ron made me long for carefree times we had together, before things got so complicated. Big Papa should be careful, I thought, because for the first time I could imagine him being replaced. By the time Ron was standing in front of me, my mind was swimming. I know it was shallow, especially after all we had been through. But all I could think of was that I wanted to sleep with this man again in the worst way. Thanks, Jerome, he said in this voice that was showing me the innocence of his youth. He was almost 20 years of my junior, but I was around him, I felt like I was only 20. You don't have to thank me. I was going to be there for you. I stood up to hug him, and he took a step back. Don't kiss me, he whispered, lifting his head defensively as if he wanted not only me, but anyone and everyone else in the building to be invisible, to see the invisible barrier between us. It was actually quite comical because the words of one story, his words told one story, but his eyes told me entirely something different. He was checking me out, and there was no doubt in my mind about that. He was undressing me with his eyes, and he wanted me. He just didn't know that. He just didn't want to be classified as gay. I wasn't going to kiss you. I was just going to shake your hand and give you a little embrace. Man, it's been a long time, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, I understand. Well, I don't feel comfortable. I nodded my understanding. I do appreciate you coming down here to bail me out and everything. I'm just trying to put all this other stuff behind me. I wanted to tell him he couldn't put who he was behind him. That was just something that he was going to have to learn with time. The way you want it, that's the way it is. You hungry? My car's right outside. Let's go get something to eat. He didn't reply. He started walking to the door, and of course I followed. We on Lorraine's part. I ended up at Egypt's door in need of a friendly ear. Ordinarily, I wouldn't show up at her house without calling, but I knew her husband was out of town on business. I also knew that she had a bottle of my favorite wine, and oh boy, I could use a drink or two. While Egypt answered the door, I gave her a pitiful look. Girl, I hope you don't mind, but right now, I can use a friend. Of course I don't mind. Come on in. She embraced me. You alright? What's wrong? We missed you at the book club last week. Please, with all this craziness going on in my life, I wasn't even thinking about a book club. Oh, I get it. I said sadly as I walked past her into the house. You still have that bottle of wine I brought over here last week for our last book club meeting? Yeah, she nodded. It's in the bar fridge. Let me go get it for you. She walked through her foyer and into the family room. I followed behind her and sat on one of the stools while she poured 2 glasses of wine. So what's going on, girl? Everything all right at home? She asked as she handed me the glass. Like I said before, I don't even know where to start. My life's so screwed up, you'll probably end up thinking I'm insane by the time I finish telling you this story. I took a long swallow and drained nearly half the glass of wine. She laughed. Try me. I've been through my share of drama, remember? I had to chuckle because she wasn't lying. My bit of BS was nothing compared to what she went through with her sister last year. When Egypt asked her sister to carry a baby for her and her husband, who happened to be her sister's ex, things got way out of control. They had so much drama. Somebody should have written a book about that shit. Nonetheless, I was about to vent about my own mess, so that's exactly what I did. Okay, well, Michael showed up outside of my office the other day and followed me and Leon all the way down to Williamsburg. Michael, who the hell is Michael? She put her hand up to me and said, wait a minute, Michael? Why does that name ring a bell? She was silent for a minute, and then her eyes got wide. I remember him. That's the light-skinned pretty boy that you took on a dinner cruise last Valentine's Day. Uh-huh, that's him. I didn't like the way she categorized him as a pretty boy. It made him sound stuck up, and Michael was far from that. Because he spent most of his teenage years as a fat kid who couldn't even get a date, he was actually pretty humble for someone who was even hotter now than hot. I didn't protest Egypt's description though, because I know she didn't mean to be hot. She just met Michael at the time, and she didn't seem to think that he was conceited. Besides, how I look now defending my ex when I was recommitting myself to my marriage. Damn, I forgot about him. Girl, you sure had somebody whispering about you that night. I thought he was something to do to get back with Leon while you were separated. And there was one rumor that he might have been hired as an escort. I sat back on my stool, truly offended. Oh, hell no. He's not an escort. Michael is my boo. Oh, shoot. Had I really just said that? I wish I could have took it back, but it was too late now. Or at least he was my boo, I corrected myself. I didn't want to pay some man to be with me. That kind of shit pissed me off. Some people seem to think that the only way a big sister can get a good-looking man is with her pocketbook. Just some jealous-ass haters as far as I was concerned. They had no idea how many men prefer a woman with a nice soft body and some meat on her bones to press up against. Egypt threw her hands in the air. Listen, don't kill the messenger. You know how petty them people at the office can be. They were always talking about someone, and nobody expected you to show up at the Valentine's Day party with a man other than Leon. Hell, me and you were pretty tight, and you didn't even tell me about him. That's because I don't keep my business all out in the street. Egypt was one of the closest things I had to a female best friend, but I still kept some of my personal business personal, as she should. Especially, I doubt to be pumping her for information. But anyway, when I got out with Michael, I was done with Leon. At least until I forgot my so-called best friend had set Leon up. Girl, I still could kill Jerome's ass for doing that shit. I didn't know if the pain of the betrayal would ever go away. Oh, Jerome. She shook her head but left the subject alone. Egypt used to try to get me to reconcile with him, but fortunately she knew enough to not bother anymore. She brought the subject back to Michael. I was just to know things that were serious with Michael. They were about to get as serious as they could get until I found out my husband never cheated on me. I took a sip of wine. That's why I'm in this predicament now. What predicament? Why didn't you just tell Michael that you're back with your husband and he needs to keep it moving? I did, but he won't. He says that he's in love with me. She let out a laugh. Damn, you put it on his ass, didn't you? Let me find out you got skills. I sipped my wine, swirling while it was in the left hand. While what was left in the glass, I allowed my mind to wander back to some of my most adventurous sexual sexcapades with Michael. Damn, we had some good times together. We put it on each other, that's the problem. Egypt got a little troubled look on his face. Oh my goodness, are you still sleeping with him? No, I swear. I raised my right hand. I didn't want to think less of me, and she probably would have left it alone, but then I slipped up. I broke it off a few months ago when Leon and I renewed our vows. But you've been with Leon almost a year. Hold up. I could see her doing the math in her head, and then her mouth kind of fell open as she finished doing the calculations. You were messing with them both at the same time? I lifted my glass and drank it to the feeble attempt to hide my face. This was humiliating. Can I get a refill, please? Damn, this Michael must be one special guy. She ignored the empty glass I placed on the bar. If we gotten together before me and Leon, we'd be married by now. Oh my God, you're in love with this guy, aren't you? That's the real reason you're worried he's come back. You're in love with him. I love my husband, Egypt. I said, matter of fact, hoping my response didn't sound too automatic and hollow. I did want her confusing the facts. Hell, I didn't want to confuse the facts. I did love Leon, but you love Michael, don't you? That's why you asked me if I'd ever been in love with anyone other than Rashad before you renewed your vows. You were thinking about Michael. I gestured at my glass. My wine? Can I get a refill on my wine? Stop playing, Lorraine. You're in love with two men, aren't you? I love my husband, Egypt. Stop avoiding the question, she snapped. I reached for the bottle and she grabbed my wrist. I'm not avoiding your question. My answer is that I love my husband and there's no other answer than that, I said adamantly, pulling my arm in the wine back into the side of the bar. This wouldn't be an issue if it wasn't Leon's problem with sex. Leon has problems with sex. You never told me that. Now she was going to be laughing behind his back. Damn it. Why did I have to go and open my big mouth? Coming here was a bad idea. I hated to say it, but I never had to censor my words around Jerome. I could say anything to him and not have to worry about having it come back to bite me. Would I ever find another friend like that? What type of problems, Egypt asked, pushing for the juicy details I wasn't about to offer up. I'd rather not talk about that. I'm not exactly something I want to go around jabbering about. And don't go judging him, please. Not being able to perform is a real blow to a man's ego. Who the hell am I to judge anybody? I'm the woman who can't have babies, remember? In a way I can relate. We were both quiet. Egypt infertility was a subject for her. I was surprised she even mentioned it. I let her process her thoughts for a moment, after which she just brought up the subject away from that difficult topic. Lots of men have problems in that area. Maybe you should just talk to a doctor about Viagra or something. I heard those little blue pills work wonders. I wish a pill could solve his problem, but it's a lot deeper than that. What do you mean? Oh, I wish she didn't feel the need to keep digging deeper and deeper, but at the same time, I hadn't been able to talk to anyone about how hard it was for me to deal with Leon's problems. I felt bad for him because he felt inadequate, and I couldn't deny that it was no picnic for me either. I was kind of curious how another woman would react. Would she think I was selfish? I blurted out. Leon has a problem with premature ejaculation. Oh my, I'm sorry. I felt myself relax a little. I knew she meant she felt sorry for me as a wife dealing with that. I know that has to be difficult. Difficult isn't even a word. I mean, I love Leon and I want to remain true to him, but that was going on for about 5, almost 6 years. You know you hate to kick a dog when he's down, but when you took a vow, for better or for worse, and I honestly meant it, that every once in a while a girl needs, well, you know. Well, yeah, I do. I don't know if I'd do if I was in your shoes, I ain't gonna lie. I might go out there and find me some side, too. I felt good to laugh and relieve some tension that had been sitting on my shoulders. It didn't always used to be this way when we first got married. Leon was like a stallion that I just wanted to ride all the time. Then after his uncle's death, something went south, but I got used to it until we separated and I met Michael. She nodded like she knew exactly what I was saying. Egypt, he'd woken up things in me that I don't even think I could live without. Now he's showing up at my door to remind me of them. I wouldn't beat myself up over it, she advised. I was starting to feel better about sharing this with her. It felt good to have support for a change. Instead of just playing the role of the supportive wife, Leon needs to step up, and if he's not going to get the job done well, then he should just move over for a man who can. Wait, maybe she's talking a little further than necessary. Maybe she's taking this a little further than necessary. No, it's not like that. You gotta understand. I love Leon, and he's working on his problem. He's seeing a doctor trying to get out. I'm gonna stick by him. I just don't need Michael constantly reminding me of what I'm not getting. No, you sure don't. Egypt reached out over to hug me like a true friend would. A word for advice, Lorraine? You keep this Michael as far away as you can, because a man like that has a way of seducing a woman's soul. Trust me, I know. That's what happened to me and Rashad. That's why I'm still trying to clean up the mess our relationship caused within my family. Although I appreciated Egypt's vote of encouragement, I wasn't too sure inside how I had to fight the feelings that I remained lodged in my heart for Michael. Okay, well, this is Michael's point of view. We're on 26 minutes, so let me see how many pages we got from Michael. Alright, we can read Michael's point of view because we only got 4 pages, so we can read Michael's point of view. Alright. Thank goodness I was the owner because I didn't scroll into work until late afternoon. I'd actually been doing a lot of things lately. After seeing Lorraine take Leon to where used to be our spot, I've been throwing daily pity parties for myself. As I scrolled through the gym, headed to my office, I prepared to do it again. My mind was on that bottle of tequila in my top drawer of my desk. I guess my mood was written all over my face because Gordon, an old friend and a manager of the facility, furrowed his brow and said, "You look like you could use a drink." "No, I could use 2 drinks," I replied. "Well, before you get into the drunken stumper, we got real problems." I looked at him with a frown, wishing he could have continued. But of course he did. "We got 2 treadmills down and Connie called in sick. So I'm going to have to do 7 o'clock step class myself." He didn't sound too happy about that, but I didn't really care. I had other things in my mind. "Okay, man, teach the class." I walked past him and opened the door to my private office, hoping that he would get the hint to leave me alone. All I really cared about was getting to that bottle. "Mike, you listening to me, man?" Gordon got up and followed me into my office. He entered as I was sitting down at the desk. Before I had the chance to open the drawer and pull out the bottle, "We got problems. What do you want me to do?" "I want you to handle it, damn it." I snapped. "Isn't this what I pay you for? Do I have to micromanage everything around here?" He didn't deserve it, but I was taking out my frustration on him. He looked like I just wanted to know. "It's your money. I'm planning on spending for new treadmills. If you don't give a shit, neither do I." He gave me an attitude right back, and I was about to snap at him, but I caught myself. "Look, G, I know you're trying to look out for me. I just have a lot on my mind." I pulled out the tequila in a glass and poured myself a shot. I would have poured out 2, but then Gordon never drank until his shift was over. A discipline I used to prescribe to myself. Translation: you went to see Lorraine again, and she sent your ass back here with your head between your legs. What? Are you a fucking mind reader? I threw back the shot and I swallowed it, feeling the fire in the back of my throat. "Sorry, Mike. You don't have to be a mind reader to see that she's just not into you anymore. This woman used to call you here every day looking for you. She hasn't called in months." I rolled my eyes. Why the hell couldn't anyone see what I was seeing? Sooner or later, you're gonna have to face the facts. You're just a little too something while her husband got his act together. I didn't acknowledge his point. Instead, I asked, "What's the definition of a stalker?" Jesus, maybe I was stalking her. "Do you think I'm stalking Lorraine?" No, I think you're just trying to win her back. But she may not see it that way, and she's only one who counts. There's a thin line between being in love and being obsessed. I'm not trying to stalk her. I was just trying to get her to talk to me. Is that so bad? I don't know. You tell me. You lost about 15 pounds. You barely come to work. And when you're here, all you do is talk about Lorraine. Lorraine this, Lorraine that. If you're not obsessed, you're getting there. And that's not good. I didn't bother to deny it. I guess I was acting crazy. But as far as I was concerned, my craziness was warranted. I needed Lorraine to remember what we had together, and she'd see that she was really supposed to be with me. I heaved a sigh. Gee, I hear you loud and clear, but I just can't give up. We're meant to be. Hey, give it a rest. Women don't accuse men of stalking them if they're meant to be together. Now, I don't know what you're doing, but it's pretty obvious she ain't interested. And if you push it too far, you might end up in jail. I swear nothing's like a good friend to give it to you straight up. So what do you think I should do? I think you need to move on before you get yourself thrown in jail. The lady's got a lot of friends at City Hall. It's time to move on, Mike. I laughed. She told me I need to move on too. Maybe you should take her advice. Maybe. Speaking of move on, Celeste called 3 times. What does she want? I sighed. Celeste Monroe was a former physical training agent. She was really pretty, with a fantastic figure and a good head on her shoulders. To put in a few words, she really had her shit together. I wouldn't be blind to see that she was interested, and a fool to not be interested myself. I tried to keep it professional so things never got off the ground between us. When she was at the point where she didn't need a coach anymore, I had already was seeing Lorraine. So it didn't matter how beautiful Celeste was, I wasn't interested. Recently, Celeste had found out Lorraine and I weren't together, and she had been trying to hook up on a date. Many of my friends, including Gordon, tried to hook me up as well. I was preoccupied with getting Lorraine back, but Celeste wouldn't take no for an answer. She wanted to speak to you, I guess, Gordon. Read my look of dismissal because he said, I don't understand why you won't give her a chance, man. I grunted. You know, you're pathetic. Here you are running behind a married woman like a lovesick fool, when you got a woman like Celeste worshiping the ground you walk on. I don't want a woman who worships the ground I walk on. Gee, I want Lorraine. You haven't given a woman a chance. Meanwhile, a guy like me can't even get with a girl like Celeste to give him the time of day, man. I swear life just ain't fair. After 2.5 weeks and feeling sorry for myself, no word from Lorraine, and Gordon pushing me like he was my mama looking after the grandkids, I finally relented and went to have a good time. I'd be lying if I say I didn't have a good time. She was a special woman. So he finally went on the date with Celeste to get over Lorraine. Let's see how it goes. Despite all that, I still thought of Lorraine constantly. I just couldn't get her out of my head. I woke up thinking about her and went to sleep with the image of her in my mind. I was whipped with a capital W. I wasn't trying to be two-faced with Celeste. From day one, I was straight up with her about my feelings for Lorraine. I told her I was deeply in love with my ex, and if by any chance she'd take me back, I'd drop everything and go back with her. Surprisingly, Celeste didn't seem to care. That's where we go wrong, guys. Okay, hold on, I'm sitting on this and there's a problem. But yeah, so Celeste didn't give a fuck, right? Let's see. From what she says, she wanted to take time to show me what kind of woman she could be to me. After that, let the chips fall where they may. I liked her attitude and wonder when it came down to if she would really practice what she preached. Either way, I decided to take it slow. We were on our 4th date before I invited her to my house. All we did was watch TV. I was a big fan of Heroes, and as it turned out, so was Celeste. I made my special salad with grilled chicken, walnuts, and dried cranberries, which Celeste loved. We sat in front of the TV, enjoying dinner with a glass of wine, while we watched the show. When it was over, I left Celeste in the living room, and she took the dirty glasses into the kitchen. While she returned, I was standing in front of the mantel holding a framed picture of Lorraine and me. Gordon had told me 10 times to get rid of the picture or at least remove it from plain sight. I'd taken it down from all the photos in my office, but I never did move this one. It was my favorite picture of us, from when we went to Martha's Vineyard, hugged up, smiling big, bright smiles into the camera. Anyone who saw this picture could tell how in love we were. Is this your ex? Yeah, that's her. I nodded a little apprehensively. I got up and took the picture out of her hand, placing it back on the mantel. I expected Celeste to comment about her looks, or maybe her size, but she didn't. You look happy, was all Celeste said. She walked over to the sofa and sat down. We were happy. I hope it doesn't bother you that I still have the picture up, but I'm moving it right now. Celeste let out a sigh. I can't say that it doesn't bother me because I'd be telling a lie. I just don't want any surprises or to be disrespected. If you and this woman get back together, I just want you to tell me. I don't want to hear from anyone else. That's only fair. I sat down next to her and took her hand. I promise if it happens, you won't hear from anyone else but me. The next thing I knew, Celeste kissed me on the mouth. At first, it was a slow, tentative kiss, but then it became a little bit more passionate. 10 minutes later, we were fully clothed, but I was lying on top of her. My hands were roaming her body freely while hers struggled to loosen my belt. We were both intoxicated with lust until she said, Michael, condoms in my purse, but I can't reach it. Suddenly, I was alert. I was sober. Everything I was doing was real, and real meant consequences. From where I lay, I looked up and saw a picture of Lorraine. I pulled away from Celeste. I can't do this, Celeste. Why? What did I do? You didn't do anything. I'm not ready for this. Not yet, anyway. Celeste smiled and gave me a gentle, understanding kiss. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere. Chapter 11, guys. So next, tomorrow or tonight, we'll be doing chapter 11. And we're going to be starting on Jerome's point of view. Look, we're almost halfway through the book. And we will be starting our next book very soon. And with that being said, I'm going to post a video on my Instagram and let you guys know on here and TikTok before I buy the next book. That way you guys can get it ahead of time. And if you would like to read along, you can read along instead. Or I can do it a step up. I can try to do it this way where y'all will see. But yeah, like I said, you can go purchase the book from Amazon. You can get it on your Kindle. You can also order, if you have any Amazon like tablet or anything like that, you can order the, you can go to the App Store and get the Kindle. And they do have this on there. So it's called Carl Weber, Torn Between Two Lovers. If you guys would like to go get the book, tune in. We're on chapter 11, so yeah. Peace out, Girl Scouts.